Hey guys, it's Dr. April Kaczynski, and I just wanted to give you a quick little video today about what we really do as chiropractors. You know, we get asked, well, actually, I shouldn't say asked. People assume that they know what chiropractors do, you know, dealing with neck pain or back pain, and a lot of times just working with kind of musculoskeletal issues. So I just wanted to define a little bit more about what, or at least I do specifically as a chiropractor. You know, for the most part, most people have everything right with working with the spine. As chiropractors, we do work with the spine. So this is a little version that I'm using here today. This is the back of the head. This is the back of the spine, all the way down to the tailbone right here. These are little hips, and then your actual femur heads right here as well, your true anatomical hips. So as chiropractors, most people think of, you know, we want to make sure that all the spinal segments, they're moving individually and then as a whole, because that lets you do all of your activities and your movements day to day. But even more important than movement, the spine's job is to protect your nerve system. So your brain, right, that's the big master control center that runs everything in the body, right? So your brain sits right up here, and it's protected by your skull because it's really important. We want to make sure nothing happens to it. Then your brain continues down as the spinal cord. So that runs all the way down, and it runs right here behind these bones. Then as a continuation of that, it continues as the nerves, these little, I don't know if you can, there we go. These little guys right here, these nerves. So these nerves go to every cell, tissue, and organ in your body. So it's pretty amazing to kind of think about that whole connection system, right? But one of the things that I want you to think of is, unfortunately, sometimes these spinal segments, they're not always moving, you know, freely and individually. With different stressors, what can happen is they can get misaligned, where they're out of place, and then they get stuck. That's even more important, is they get stuck. That creates inflammation, and then it irritates these little nerves. So one of the questions I always ask is, do you think pressure or irritation to a nerve, do you think that's good or bad? It's bad. That's right. It's definitely bad. So let's say that there's pressure or irritation here on this nerve, and that nerve, so this is a common one. Let's say that that nerve goes to your muscles right here in your neck, right? What do you think could happen to the muscles? You could have, yep, if it's your sensory nerve, you could have pain or numbness or tingling, right? If this is your motor nerve and it goes here to the muscles, you could have spasm, weakness, decreased range of motion. The muscles aren't going to work very well. Same concept, though, applies to the organs, because remember we said these nerves, they go to every cell, tissue, and organ in the body. So now let's think of, if there's irritation here to this nerve, and instead of the nerve going to my muscles, maybe it goes to my thyroid, or maybe it goes to my heart. Do you think those organs are going to function better or worse with irritation there? Right, worse. They're not going to work very well at all. That is chiropractic in a nutshell, okay? So we don't want any irritation to any of the nerves. We want you to feel good. We want the muscles to move the right way, and we want the organs to function the right way. So as chiropractors, what we do is we check for any of those misalignments that are in the spine, wherever they may be, causing irritation to those nerves. So our really fancy diagnostic term for that is called a subluxation. So you may have heard of this from other chiropractors before, here in my office, things like that. It's a subluxation. You can think of a short circuit or a nerve disturbance, irritation to a nerve. As long as you know that it affects the nerves and the nerve system, that's what we want you to understand that chiropractors work with. So if you haven't been checked for a subluxation, whether you have pain or not, maybe you've got muscle spasm or weakness, or maybe you're just really run down. Maybe you've got sinuses or allergy issues. Maybe you've got upset stomach, digestive issues, things like that. Chiropractic can help with those too, again, because we're working with all of the nerves and everywhere that the nerves go. So I recommend come on in, get checked out if you haven't seen a chiropractor for making sure that your spinal system is working properly and that you're free from any interference from that nerve system, I highly recommend you get checked out. Have a wonderful day, guys.